Hello everybody and welcome back to Balake Farms. So you join me still in April. I am just finishing off the rolling because the worker keeps getting stuck at the bottom of the field. We've also set the Renault in the grass field now onto heathering, so he's getting that done for us in the background, so we'll soon be able to windrow it and we can get it all baled up. So after we've done this field, we're probably going to mosey on into May, and then I'm going to plant the soybeans in the field next to this one. At least that way it staggers our harvest and we shouldn't have everything on the same day then. We're also keeping an eye out because the we put wheat or barley in, so we just need to make sure we don't miss harvesting month. But we will keep an eye on that. But yeah. So we're just getting this last little bit, which is just around here. And that is the rolling done. So I have put a few more mods on, which is a bigger roller. We've got some bigger seed drills as well. So we will be looking at that once we make a few more pennies. Just to keep us, while we're getting bigger tractors, we might as well get bigger equipment. So we're just going to make sure the cows, instead of cows, all of the chickens are all up to date with their food. I think they are, to be honest, because we've done it previously. So the sheep are working in this field, I noticed the other day, but the goats, for some reason, they just will not make goat's milk. So someone suggested it might be because I've made man goats, so I might have a quick look at that and say we've got 20 sheep in that pasture and they're working well. So let's just have a go over to our sheep enclosure. You'll see, yeah, the wool's all working nicely. But we have, I think it's only a few goats, but we have got a couple. Because I do like doing goats, but I am struggling. So we know these, as you can see, are just not producing. We've got 4, so let's get rid of them. And let's have a look at some other goats. So Buck is a man one. To Ram. They're sheeps, aren't they? So I think we're on the right thing. They just do not seem to be working, which is just unfortunate really. So I might just leave them sold because they are just eating food and not producing us any money, whereas at least the wool, we're getting it in quite big lumps. We can sell it and it's making us a few pennies. So as you can see, chickens are producing. We've got a few pallets there now. Nearly a full pallet down here, and these have still got plenty of food. Nearly a full pallet down here, and these got plenty of food. So I think we're well up to date with everything. So let's go. I think we're going to move on into May, and then we can carry on drilling this other half of this field we've made. So you can see the divide. Everything I think is just growing nicely. So that's growing, growing, growing. Growing, growing, growing. So we do need to keep an eye on weeds, as you can see. In fact, it might be worth doing that before we move on, just so the crops don't get too big. So let's jump across into our 996. Right, I'll run this quickly back to the yard. We'll change this out for herbicide, and then we'll come and spray all these fields because we do not want a situation where we can't get into the fields. I think all these crops are pretty decent, but let's just get them sprayed off and at least we know we've done it and we don't have to worry about it. So I'll see you back in the field with some herbicide. That's the first field all sprayed off, so we're going to go fill up with herbicide again, and we're going to go do the back 2 fields, and then we'll get filled up again and we can go over to the other field. So not taking too long. It helps with the tram lines being there, but yeah, let's get the next load in. We'll spray the top 2 fields, which are potato and sunflowers, get them sprayed off, and then we can head to the little fields, and then that should be it for this month. So we'll get filled up. I think I bought enough. I didn't buy enough. So I'm probably just going to fill this silo. It's going to cost a few pennies, but we do get through it. So let's £6,000 filled the silo. Well, what room's left in the silo, shall we say? It's 4,000 litres. Let's get it in the tank and head to the potato and sunflower field and get them sorted. We do have some lettuces we could sell as well, so we'll probably do that next month because it'll be about that full by then, and then we can get some more money in. And I think we should have... We bought some mushroom polytunnel as well, didn't we? We did indeed. So yes, we have some of them we can get sold as well. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that, and we'll make sure we get that all sold next month while we're planting our soybeans. But for now, let's head back up here and get these 2 fields sprayed. Right, so that's these 2 fields done. I think we've done a fairly good job. So we've now just got to run down to field 14, get that sprayed, and then we can move on, and then we can get field 11 all planted. So not too bad. I think he is finished now heading, so we might be able to set him windrow in, so that all we've got to do is bale down there, which shouldn't take too long. So let me fill this up again, and then we'll head down to the bottom field, get that sprayed off, and then we can move on into May. So it looks like the worker couldn't do this field. He's just sort of sat at the edge of the field that whole time. We've been paying for that. So I'm just going to quickly get this windrowed, and then we'll move into May. And then when I get 5 minutes, I'll get it baled. I mean, no desperate rush. We've got plenty of bales at the moment. But it's best to keep on top of it and make sure we've got plenty, because I would like to put some more cows in there and really get the milk producing for us. So I'll get this quickly windrowed, and then we'll move on into May. So I thought I might as well just quickly get this baled. So I'm going to see if this Renault will pull the baler. And if it will, we'll quickly get this all baled. And then we can leave the bales in the field and pick them up at our leisure. But I just thought, while we're in April, it's still 1 o'clock. Let's just quickly get this field all baled up. And then it's one less job to do. And then we can concentrate on our planting. So the first bale is about to pop out. And then what we'll do is we'll get some bits sold, because we're going to need some income in very soon. We do still have, I believe, the corn to sell. So we do need to keep an eye on... Where's our silo? Down here. So yeah, we still have the corn. And as you can see, June is our optimal point. So we'll be in May next month. We'll check on it, because if it's hitting anywhere close to this, we'll get it sold, because we're already at 1839, so it could jump up and overtake this, so we will just get it sold. There's no point in hanging around, because the price might drop again. It can be a bit like that. The prices are up and down on the game, and sometimes you think, oh, just wait till where it says, and it's already declining. So if it's a good enough price, we will just get it sold. So I'll quickly whip around with the baler. Shouldn't take too long to get this all baled up. I think we'll get 4 or 5 bales off it, and then we can leave them in the field, move on to May, and crack on with our soybeans. Right, so you join me in May. So we got the baling done. The bales are just sat in the field. So we are getting on with it very nicely now. So we can pick them up at any time. But you can see these have still got some. And I'm pretty sure our cows have still got plenty of food. Let's have a look. Yeah, so they've still got plenty of food at the moment anyway. Milk's coming on nicely. So yeah, it's all going well. So just going to move a couple of these out the trigger for the time being, just so it can carry on spawning. We're going to move the eggs so they can carry on spawning. Yeah, we'll move that part pallet. Keep it clear. It's easy, better to keep the trigger clear than it is to think. So what's happened with this spawn point on the chickens, it'll only hold 2 pallets because the ground's deformed. It's not putting 2 there, which is a little bit annoying, but hey ho. Just check down here, see how we're getting on. So we've got a full pallet and a partial pallet. And we should have exactly the same on this one. Full pallet and a partial pallet. So plenty of eggs coming in now. So what we're going to do, we'll set a worker spraying our parsnips off because they need de-weeding. And we're going to jump in the case tractor. And we're going to start planting our soybeans. And then hopefully after we've done this field, got it all sorted, we'll move on. And we will we'll start selling some produce. We might get the wool sold. We'll see what the price is like. That's the other thing we need to check this month. We need to check on corn prices. So they are up a bit, but they're still not. They're still £300, 1,000 litres off. So no point in selling them until they're an absolute best, because then we can make sure we get top dollar for it. Right, let me get planting. And I'll get this field done, and I'll see you guys shortly. Right, so we've got the planting all done. So we've got the David Brown now spraying off the weeds. We've got the Fiat doing the rolling. So we're going to head back to the yard and we're going to get the lorry out of hibernation. We're going to load up the flatbed with, I think we're going to take everything. So we'll take the eggs, we'll take the wool, we'll take all of the cabbages, and we'll just take everything we've got to the sell point, get it all sold, get some money in the bank. And then we'll come back and we'll fill up the trailer full of corn, ready for when we're in June and we can get the best price. It'll also remind me not to forget about it. So we'll take this back to the yard for now. We'll leave them guys going. We'll get all of that sold, and then we can always pick the bales up as well and get them into the cow shed, ready for when we need them. But I can't see us needing them for a little while. We've also got a few pallets of mushrooms, I believe, so we can get everything sold in a wanna. Right, let's just pull this back up over here. I don't think we'll need the planter for some time now, because it all depends on when this wheat's ready, but I think we'll be putting wheat back in just because we need it for the chickens, and it's always nice we get the straw bales off it as well for the cows for bedding, because that's going to make our... I'm hoping we can get it to the stage where we're using the slurry and the manure to do a lot of the fertilising, save on a bit of fertilising costs. But I know we've got a load in the tank, so it's not the end of the world, but it's always nice to be as green as possible. Right, so it actually looks like we've got the low loader already on the lorry, so that's making that even easier. Let's get it in the yard, let's get loaded up, head down to the animal pens, and we'll get everything they've got loaded up, and then we can have a big selling session up at their store and hopefully make a few pennies. Right, I'll get this loaded and I'll see you probably at the animals. Right, so we've got 1 pallet of mushrooms, we've got 9 pallets of lettuce, virtually 7 pallets of eggs, well 8 when I pick this one up because we forgot to load this one up. So we've got 8 pallets of eggs and 4 and a bit pallets of wool. So don't know what the prices are doing for everything, but it should bring us in a fair few £1,000s. Which should bankroll us until we can get the corn sold in next month. With that, we will be buying hopefully some new equipment. So I have put a new roller on there, a new seed drill. So it's going to all make everything run a bit faster, and it'll be a lot easier if we can, you know, just get the fields turned over so much faster. We can get our produce going as well. So I've also put another mod on for small factories, which I thought would be really nice for doing some canola oil and sunflower oil. So it's not like the modern ones we have on the other series. It is different ones, and I will show you, because I hadn't even had a look yet. I just see it on Mod Hub and I thought that looks fairly decent. So, but first, let's get this sold. So £100,000. So we're definitely worth coming up here to get that sold. Nice £100,000 back in the bank. That's definitely going to help. So let's have a look at factories. So I was led to believe it's some smaller factories. I don't know if it's just woodworking factories or what. Oh, it's diesel production there. So I think this is the industrial. There's a sawmill pack on there. Quite nice little sawmills if you wanted to crack on. So we could always get one of these wind turbines. Quite rustic. So let's have a look. I don't know if it's worked because I haven't actually had a look before I come on. Don't think there's anything new on there. So we've got the originals. So say it might be worth putting one of these on there. Because we could do canola. We could do canola next time, but we've definitely got the sunflowers. So we could turn sunflowers into oil and then we'll get so much more money. But let's have a look to see what the pricing difference is once we're at this menu. I don't think those new ones have showed up, so I'll have to have a look into that. But basically there were some older style littler factories. Perfect for this series where we haven't got massives of volumes of stuff coming off the field, you know, just small little bits and bobs. So I don't think there's anything new in glass houses. It's just all of our glass houses. Obviously we've got the corn production, like the bakery, which you can make corn flour with, and there is a nice oil mill in there as well, which we can do corn oil with. That might be worth getting. Can do all different types of oils then, or do we do the? We don't necessarily need the oil. I'll have a think about it. We'll head back over to the yard and we'll have a think, because it might be worth getting a windmill, because we can make some flour with some of the wheat. I know we need it, most of it, for chicken food, because what we've got left is what's in the trailer, so got to keep an eye on that. But we could plant next year, or drill next year, some more wheat and barley to make our flour with, and we could do some more oil. Or do we stick with our canned productions? Because I think there is a small canned production, and we can make like frozen peas or tin peas, and we could do that sort of stuff. Because we've got the parsnips as well, so it might be worth doing one of them, opposed to the oil mill. But we'll have a look at the prices, because if the price of sunflowers is say £2,000 per 1,000 litres, and the price of the oil is 7,000, then it's definitely worth converting it. It's usually like 1 to 2, so it'll take 2 sunflowers to make 1 oil, so it will still work out better. But if there's not a lot in it, the time we've paid for the production and the we've lost out, it might not actually be worth doing. It's always worth having a quick look and doing some research on it all. But for now, let me get this back in here. We'll put the grain trailer on. We'll fill up with corn ready for next month, so we can get that corn finally sold, what we've been holding on to. So I think we've got about 22,000 litres, so it should bring in another £40,000 really. So it should be a nice little money earner for us. Yeah, let's get this trailer in here, and then we can get the corn filled up like I was saying, and then we'll move on and see how all the workers are getting on. Or we might even take over Roland if he's struggling, because I think that roller's just a bit too small now for our needs. So I have, like I said, I have put some on. That's a nice forage wagon in the sale. Yeah, that's quite smart, that is. But anyway, I'll get distracted. So yeah, rollers here. So we've got, I did put some different types of ones. This here, although that's too new, you can put 3 on that, but obviously we're on this one I think at the moment. But I believe this one here, you can convert it like that, and we can have 2. So this might be our new one, and we'll up our working width, just because, like you say, that's only 2.5 meters, and this should be about 7.5 meters, so it'll be a lot faster. A bit more awkward to tow down the road, but because our fields aren't far away from the farm, it might be all right. So we'll definitely be getting that, I think. I might even get it for, if he hasn't got on with that field very well, I might even get it and go fetch it and help him out a bit. Just because obviously he's taken quite a bit of time, and well, he misses quite a bit with it as well, which is understandable, because like you say, no GPS, working with such a small working width. Yeah, it's not easy, is it? Right, let's see what corn we've got. So 22,000 litres, so I think we should get it all in the trailer nice and easily. Might even get it all in one compartment. Not quite. Let's fill up the next compartment, and then this is ready to go. So yeah, 4,000 litres in that next compartment. Put the cover on so we don't get wet. And then that is all ready to go in June, so we probably might even just back it in that shed for now. Minding that diesel tank, what I should have been looking out for. But yeah, let's get this back in that shed. Then we'll go check on our workers, and then we can see if we need to get another roller this month and help him out, or if he's nearly done, we'll just let him finish and we'll bring the 996 back. So let's go and have a look. That's all parked in the shed, so it's not getting wet. Get that folding up. Let's see how the roller's getting on. So he's actually doing a fairly good job. He's not a million miles away from getting done, to be honest. So I might just knock the 996 back to the yard, and then we'll come and check on him again. And then we can always, I might even just buy the roller. In fact, let's just buy the roller, because if I don't, I never will. I'll keep forgetting. We need one with the attachment on. So we buy that. And then as far as I believe, we buy two without the attachments on. I mean, I suppose we could keep buying ones with attachments on and have loads behind. But it would be a bit of a handful. So let's just jump back into the 996. So now we've bought the rollers, so we'll just run this back to the yard quickly. Or will we? It might be worth leaving this here, actually, because we're going to have to spray that field off next month anyway. So yeah, I'll pull this up here to make our life easier, and let's take the case tractor over to the store, pick up those rollers, and if he hasn't finished on the way past, we will give him a hand. Right, let me shoot off down there and pick them up. So as you can see, the new rollers are working. I did, well, the middle roller's working. I have forgot to unfold the other ones. I think that's it. There we go. So yeah, they are working quite nicely. So that's a nice big working width now. They are a bit of a nightmare to transport. So I might just tow them down the road like this. It's obviously 9 miles an hour, but while we've got the fields all local, it's nice and easy. But they will be saving us no end of time on rolling. As you can see, it's much quicker. Now backing up with them, I reckon it's going to be virtually impossible. They're going to have a mind of their own, but doing this, it is so much easier. And it is going to make rolling fields so much quicker now. But right, I'm going to just crack on. He didn't have a lot to fit. It took me that long to figure out that you had to unfold the first one to get the wings out and everything. That he's pretty much done. But we'll get up behind him. We'll get this last bit done. And it's another job sorted well. So yeah, I say you could have probably made it even bigger still, because you could have had two with attachments and two off that and then made a really big roller. But it probably would have just been crazy to store and crazy to maneuver around. Like, at least these you can just put in a big line and tow them all together down the road if you wish. But I do think it's slightly easier just to keep them like this, pull them up into the yard, just detach them, and then reattach them when you're ready to go again. We'll probably store them up at this top yard where all the animal stuff is, because it'll make life so much easier. As you can see, there's the bit we missed earlier. Get that last bit rolled. I think the worker will get confused in a minute and go, oh, you've done my job for me. But it's made that a bit quicker. I wish I'd bought them at the start, to be fair. But I don't know how the workers will get on with them, because of the fact, like you say, reversing them is going to be interesting. And yeah, I don't know if a worker would reverse with them, so we might keep the other one just in case we're not available to do rolling and we've got to leave the rolling on a worker. But yeah, we're all done now, so I'm just going to drive this down the road. Might even put it in the field next to our yard. No one's using it at the moment. It's only a grass field, or there's a bit of land to the side where the hill is. We'll get them parked up there for now, and then we should be able to oh, well, they're still attached, but I folded up by accident. It works though, because we can go faster. I don't think we'll get through this gate though. No. Right, let's get them all detached. Let's do this properly. That's that one. Let's get that one detached. So the way I think you're supposed to do it is just pick these up because they're not very heavy. Put them in a nice line. So I think what you do is you transport them in a nice daisy chain like that. And there we go. We've got a nice little little following of rollers. So I think we'll just park them up in this bit of waste grassland here for now. And then next time we've got a field to roll, we can tow them like this, and then we'll get it all hitched up. To be fair, it don't take 5 minutes to do it properly. And so we can leave that like that now. So I'll run this one back to the yard. Then we'll grab the Fiat, because I believe we're done with that now in the field. We'll move that back to the yard. And then it's time for June. And it's time to get that corn finally sold. But yeah, let me run this back to the yard. We'll grab the Fiat. And then we'll move on into June. Right, so we are now in June, and corn is at its best price, and it looks like this sell point, Farm Store Bay 2, is the best. So while it's raining, we are quickly going to teleport over to the eggs because we need to move them. That's going to be a day, well, monthly, shall we say, monthly chore now. They've still got plenty of food, so that's all good. But yeah, let's get these just pushed out the trigger for now. We'll just quickly run down here and make sure these have got food. If not, I'll bring David Brown down. Yeah, still got food. And nearly got a pallet. So, with that, let's jump into our... Well, let's get that field sprayed off before we forget about it. I don't want to forget about any fields. And let's jump into lorry, and let's take it down to our sell point. So I believe, let me just check which one it is at. So it's the one behind the shop. So that shouldn't be too bad to get to. So let's run down there. Let's find out what 22,000 litres of corn can do for us. Hopefully it'll make us a nice bit of profit and help buy some new machinery. So I don't know what we'll buy with it. We'll get thinking about it. We don't particularly need any more tractors, but I kind of want some more tractors. I do like all the tractors we've got, so it is nice to have them all about on the farm. But yeah, we don't particularly need any more, so we could do with some bigger equipment, really. A bigger seeder and a bigger planter would be, I think, the next big investments, because they will really help. Another glass house probably wouldn't go amiss, just to help, you know, our background income. Or do we just wait now and do we get some more fields? So we've got a few now, but we can never say no to even more fields, and it'll all help make us some money. But I don't know, I'll have a think about it, and we'll work it out together, see what we can do with this farm. Say if we're going to buy more fields, we kind of need to buy some bigger equipment, because otherwise we're going to get to the stage where we'll have so much field work and our equipment is just too small to handle it, which you don't want. But yeah, so we're arriving now at the sell point. So this is one where we brought all the carrots, I believe. The parsnips went to the one we're about to pass, but the carrots went to the other one. Oh no, this is our parsnip one. So let's get over the pit. And let's dump the first load. So I don't know which tank. So we're going off the first tank first. So this is our bigger section. So we can find out what that's going to make us. It should leave us about 4,000 litres. So that's £37,000 plus 1,900 quid. So that is not bad at all. Just got to check the menu because I can't remember how to. So it is you. And pull forward. There we go. So let's tip that last 4,000 litres. Perfect, another £10,000. So that takes us nicely up to £156,000. And what a great way to end today's episode. So, thank you for watching, guys. If you've liked the episode, please give it a thumbs up. Any suggestions, please leave them below. And if you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell, you'll find out what we're going to do with all this money. I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.